The NBA's trade deadline is officially less than 1 month away, which means teams across the league are really starting to buckle down and address the things that they need to change in their organizations. Rumors are starting to circulate daily on the topic of trade discussions, some big names are reportedly available to be had, and the expectation is that some big trades will be made in the next few weeks. Bleacher Report tackled exactly this in one of their most recent articles, proposing 4 blockbuster deals that they think might be coming on the horizon. As always, I'm here to go through these proposals, analyzing whether or not they're realistic, why or why not each team involved would want to do them, and who benefits the most from them. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first proposal from the article is between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Chicago Bulls, and in it the Lakers receive Zach Lavine in exchange for Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a first-round pick, and 2 first-round pick swaps. Zach Lavine is one of the biggest names available this trade season, and at this point it seems certain that he's going to be moved in the coming weeks. It's very clear to everyone in the Bulls organization now that the team's ceiling is incredibly limited with their current core, and the emergence of Coby White has made Lavine even more expendable, since White can serve as a foundational building block for their rebuild. This trade also does admittedly check all of the boxes of a team trading away its star, intending to start over. Rui Hachimura is a productive two-way forward that plays good defense and is still just 25 years old. Jalen Hood-Schifino is a very raw prospect in his rookie season, probably better off in a rebuilding environment over the bright lights of LA anyway, and D'Angelo Russell is the kind of piece that could end up rerouted down the line in another trade. Then you look at the draft capital, and the Bulls would ideally like more than 1 established first-round pick included, but at the same time, Lavine hasn't really been having his best year this year by any means, as he has had in the past, so it's hard to justify giving up more for him. Then for the Lakers, they're in desperate need of shot creation and floor spacing in their backcourt, and Lavine seems like a perfect match there. While I did say he hasn't been quite as good as prior years, he is still a borderline all-star caliber talent at his best, and would immediately be able to ignite the Lakers' stagnant offense around LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I also don't think what we're seeing from Lavine right now is the norm for him, because he's shooting worse than he ever has in his career, so a new environment with legitimate title aspirations could rejuvenate him, and some progression back to the mean would be expected. Overall, I actually do like this offer quite a bit for both sides, and based on the market for Lavine that is out there, the Lakers do seem like the favorites to bring him in. The next proposal from the article is between the Indiana Pacers and the Toronto Raptors, and in it the Pacers receive Pascal Siakam and a second-round pick in exchange for Buddy Hield, Jalen Smith, Jarris Walker, and 2 protected first-round picks. Like Lavine, Siakam is another one of the biggest names reportedly available on the trade block right now, likely to be moved, and Pacers remain a dark horse in the Siakam sweepstakes. The thing about a Siakam trade though is that it's a pretty unique situation where he's on an expiring contract about to hit free agency this summer, and has been very vocal about wanting to explore his options on the open market if it gets to that point. What this means is that while players on expiring contracts typically don't require a massive trade offer to acquire them, in Siakam's case, he's making it clear that it's no guarantee that he sticks around long term if your team trades for him. Because of this, it will likely scare away quite a few teams that would have otherwise been interested in acquiring him. But what it also means is that the team that does end up trading for him will likely be the team that convinces Siakam to get on board with what they're building for the future, and the Pacers are a very interesting group in this regard. They're one of the league's most exciting breakout teams this season, with the NBA's top-ranked defense playing at the fastest pace in the entire league right now too. They thrive in up-tempo settings where they can push the pace, and those also just so happen to be the situations that Pascal Siakam is at his best. Siakam is the kind of versatile forward that can grab a rebound and immediately ignite a fast break with his speed and playmaking skills for a forward, and with the Pacers being in desperate need of defensive help, he's a clear upgrade on that end as well. I think Siakam is a perfect match for the Pacers, so on paper, this is a deal that both sides should be very motivated to get done, but as I said at the start, this is only a trade that can be made if Siakam himself agrees to sign a contract extension in Indiana, because it's not worth it at all to rent him out for half a season only to watch him leave in free agency. The next proposal from the article is between the Golden State Warriors and the Atlanta Hawks, and in it the Warriors received Dejounte Murray and DeAndre Hunter in exchange for Moses Moody, Chris Paul, Corey Joseph, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. The Warriors have a lot they need to address in the coming weeks, because their season is teetering on the verge of disaster. The young players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody are leaking to the media how disgruntled they are playing for Coach Steve Kerr. The Chris Paul addition hasn't really given them the spark that they were hoping for. Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins are playing some of the worst basketball of their careers, and the team is now in 12th place in the Western Conference standings at the time I'm making this video. Replacing Chris Paul with Dejounte Murray would definitely be a huge upgrade for the Warriors at this point, and being able to land DeAndre Hunter in this package too would be a dream come true for the Warriors. But unfortunately for them, this will only ever be a dream, because it's a deal that is incredibly lopsided in their favor, and I don't see why the Hawks would accept this at all. Moses Moody may still have potential for sure, but 3 years into his career, he is way worse than DeAndre Hunter. Chris Paul's way worse than Dejounte Murray at this point in his career. Corey Joseph isn't moving any needles, and the draft capital I don't think makes up for the difference enough to convince Atlanta to do it. DeAndre Hunter is a 15-point per game scorer that knocks down 40% of his threes and plays solid perimeter defense. You can't just treat him like a throwaway add-on to the deal. Obviously, I see why the Warriors would be interested in this kind of a trade package, but the offer isn't substantial enough to get it done, in my opinion. And finally, the last proposal from the article we'll be discussing today is between the Houston Rockets and the Memphis Grizzlies, where the Rockets receive Marcus Smart in exchange for Jock Landale, Jayshawn Tate, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. With the news that Ja Morant's short-lived season has already come to an end due to an unfortunate shoulder injury, the Grizzlies will likely be tanking for the rest of the year. They originally brought in Marcus Smart in the offseason to keep the ship afloat, but with that no longer looking like a realistic option, there is a belief that he could be had for the right price. I, for one, definitely wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see a team go after Marcus Smart because of his resume as a tough-nosed defender with the pedigree that he has, but I just don't think the Rockets are the team to do it. If the Rockets were to do this deal, they would essentially be making it very clear that the future of their young talent is no longer something they are prioritizing. Bringing in Fred VanVleet has been a good one, helping them get back into the playoff hunt, with Amen Thompson learning from behind him in the rotation, but adding Marcus Smart to the mix too would then send a message that they're losing trust in Jalen Green's future, which I don't think is the right message to send on this team. Would Marcus Smart improve the team? Yeah, marginally. Would the Rockets be good enough to make a deep playoff run with him? I honestly don't think so. So in my mind, this isn't a trade the Rockets should be making. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the trades proposed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.